Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line.
Lock in.
They begin the drive on the ground with Cohen. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Lock in.
Now they'll run it with Cohen. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. It's the Pro Bowler Chandler Jones who makes the tackle.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Let's go. Four down, check.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. Completion left side to Miller. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Let's go. We got, you see it? Run!
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. Now it's Trubisky, able to find Shaheen here. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Hey, 18.
Again, it's Trubisky. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. Marcus Golden. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now Rosen to throw on second down. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Detroit. Detroit. Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
Now Rosen. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Well, it's third and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
They'll run it now. This is Chuck Hendrick West. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. But they face a second and long to start things out. Now Cohen. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, and they've got it back to 3rd and 10.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Trubisky will throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. This is caught inside the 15. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
A first trip to the red zone for the Bears. They're looking at a 1st and goal from about the 9. This is Cohen on the toss, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal.
Lock in.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. They run. This is Cohen. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, I believe that they were in 4-down territory, and that's what they were thinking. But after the loss, I've got to kick the field goal. No way I'm going to go for it in this situation. But you know, some of these coaches, they're extremely unpredictable, and they may go ahead and press it.
So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal. So
maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. And now it's Rosen looking underneath for Johnson. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
No. Check. Patriot. Over. Hot.
They pitch it out to Johnson. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10.
Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Gone! All right, now, lucky 56.
Rosen on 1st and 10. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. 3rd and long here for Rosen. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Gone! Detroit! Detroit! Gone! Watch it now, Barney!
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down.
All right, now, lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56.
Here we go on 4th down with Rosen. Lets it go for Nelson. And this is caught inside the 5. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. J.J. Nelson with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cardinals are in for 6.
Touchdown.
Extra point attempt here still to come. Point after, up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 6. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
that.
Super toe.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Red up.
Now Trubisky to throw on 2nd. Going up top for Miller. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
18. Blue. Hey, 18. Lock in.
Now it's Trubisky. The Cards get to him here. He's brought down for a sack. John Simon with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. And now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. Now they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone, and with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays, eat up chunks of yardage, and cut down the number of times you have to snap the football.
No. Check. Patriot.
On first down, it's Rosen. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 13. And good field position coming up here. The football at the 12-yard line. the toss. Cohen. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
On 2nd down, Trubisky. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And Parkey's kick is good. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So they're still down, but they are able to salvage 3 here heading into the lockers.
This is what you worked on from the beginning of training camp. Heading into the half, put some points on the board. No matter what the score says at that point, you've accomplished what you set out to do.
And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Final play of the half here. It's Rosen. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to let this go deep. Back over the middle. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Cardinals out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And he's able to get up here to the 26. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. The tackle made there by Dayon Buchanan.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Now Trubisky. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Detroit! Detroit!
On 2nd down, here's Rosen. He's going to air one out. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A huge play there for Arizona. And even 50 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They'll run it with Johnson. And a short gain down to about the 33. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Flushed out right. And this one is incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Second and 6, just inside the 30. Here's Trubisky. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. 3rd and 2. Now Trubisky. He sets to fire deep. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. Rosen and the Cardinals take over with a 1st and 10 at their own 21.
Detroit! Detroit! Over!
On the ground, this is Johnson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Detroit! Detroit!
On 2nd down, Rosen. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. This quarterback now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10.
Leopard! Leopard! Gun! 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 Detroit! 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 All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
To throw is Rosen. Flush to his right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Khalil Mack. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. From the gun, it's Rosen. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out of practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a 2-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. 2-hand. Oh, I get it. 2-hand monster. Both hands on the football. Taking care of it. Putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
He's going to get it running right. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know, all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Lock in, lock in.
On 3rd down, that's Cohen. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, but still a decent ways from the end zone now on 4th and goal.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Back now at Soldier Field. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Parkey's kick is good. And that gets him back within a single point. It's now 10-9. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. They'll try and run down some clock with Johnson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down.
So what's the word I'm looking for here about how this drive just started?
Disjointed?
I'll go with that one. I mean, think about it. First down, took a bad loss on a running play. Take the sack on second down. Now they got to come up with something big here on third.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Detroit! Detroit! Watch him now, Barney! Barney!
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. And that's caught left side, Seals Jones with it. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Second and 10. It's Trubisky again. He's got a man. It's Corey Coleman. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 14 yards that time for number 14. Trubisky now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. First and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Tackle made by Marcus Golden.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Red, up.
On second down, here's Trubisky. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. Scoring has really been at a premium. And, Charles, you got to tip your cap to this defense coming in here. Their offense, too, but this whole team coming in here on the road, getting a hard-fought win.
I think the way that they're finishing this one up, an exclamation point on a terrific game. As you noted, hard for them to put points on the board, and they hold them down one more time and finalize things.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to have a third down. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. That'll go in the books as just a 16-yard punt, and the Bears take over. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they do the interception and finish off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or, even worse, an interception.
That's it, baby.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this.
Red's up.
From the shotgun is Trubisky. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Sims. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
That gets them the first down, but they've still got to move quickly here.
Trubisky now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
18.
He'll look to throw. And it pops free. The the collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw, and it'll wind up being intercepted.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8.
Lucky 56. Watch it now, Barney.
They go to Johnson again. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
On 3rd down, Johnson. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. Onto the field now come the Bears. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you get a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
You see it? You see it? Hands up! Hey, 18.
He's back to throw. Over the middle, a catch by Coleman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards that time for number 14.
Pardon, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
And this doesn't get there. It's no good. They had to go for it, but their final effort here is going to come up short. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you?
I
loved
did.
the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So for Arizona, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for Chicago, the loss will drop them to 6-3 now on the year. And they'll be at home for one next week against the Oakland Raiders. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire